You're my favorite person. Fuck off. Welcome, bitches, one and all, to my reaction to the finale of Heartstopper Boyfriend. So last time was obviously a very hard episode to watch. We had a lot of homophobia, and just in general, it was hard to see all of our characters go through that and to see their friendships not break because they're always repairable, but there was definite straining on the relationship. So I'm expecting this episode to see a lot of reparations. I expect to see everyone come together again. Well, I'm hoping everyone comes together again, and I just hope it's a really nice episode, which I feel like it will be. For the finale, I feel like this is going to be like peak joy. So fingers crossed. I really hope it is a good one. But yes, with that said, I'm hesitantly excited to press play because I want to see it, but I'm sad it's ending. But we got to do it. We got to do it. So without further ado, let's jump back in to the world of Heartstopper. Oh, my boy, who are you messaging? Tao, what are you saying? Tao, I'm so sorry, you okay? Charlie, that is so big of you for what he said. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that there is, like, animosity on both sides, but he said something very hurtful at the end, that it's all Charlie's fault, so...
You're being very loud.
Can I have my headphones on?
Yeah, but you're still hitting the drums very loudly and I can hear it through the wall.
Interesting. Is she going to take that as he's upset?
Are you angry at anything in particular?
There we go. Nice, big sister.
Didn't you hear about Harry Green's fight with Nick and Tao? Both my fault, by the way.
Not right. I'm actually going to hit you. Not your fault. We're not using that language today, Charlie. It may have been because of you, but it wasn't your fault. It was because they were defending you, because he was being a fucking twat. Like, mate, you can't take this as being your fault. It's so sad to see when someone behaves like this. I wish I could get in there, give him a hug, and then slap him around the face and tell him the truth. Someone just really needs to, like, drill it into Charlie's head that it's not his fault.
Yeah, I'm like 95% sure they were both Harry's fault and I wasn't even there.
I love you. Well done.
What's going on?
Aww. Dude, stop. She's so nice. I've seen like 2 minutes of her and I love her.
I liked him, but he made me feel like I was ruining his life.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want me to even exist.
Damn. Oh, it's hard to hear him say that.
And I just feel like maybe I do just ruin people's lives.
Right. This is what I was getting extremely angry about with Ben last time was. The words that Ben was using were so damaging, not only because they're obviously fucking hurtful, but when someone has been through a very traumatic experience and they assign all of these negative emotions, for instance, Charlie's only experience before Nick of being in a relationship was with Ben. So when someone's standing there telling you that they're fucking ashamed of you, that they never even liked you, that you're ruining their life by just being there, you're going to attribute that to everything you fucking do. And the next time you're in a relationship, you're going to make it your mission to not do those things. So the fact that in Charlie's mind, he has forced or he has caused Nick's friends to leave him, it's going to really play on his mind and it's going to be really hurtful to Charlie. So, honestly, it just makes me even more angry at Ben for doing this to Charlie because he has not done anything wrong. He has been one of the sweetest people in this show, and to just see him be treated so badly by everyone is just so upsetting, honestly.
You're not ruining my life.
Aww.
I could make us some pizza for dinner.
Aww. I love her. That was so sweet. That was such good sister energy, honestly. Gender Explorers. Nice book. I might have to look into that one myself. That looks interesting.
I heard Harry got suspended for fighting, so that's good. He said he doesn't want to talk to you.
Oh, for goodness sake, Tao. Please just talk. Please.
Oh, to remind you all that the Shroom Hicks Sports Day is on Friday.
They do sports day together? Interesting. Uh-oh.
Hey,
Charlie.
did you want to get lunch together? I can't.
Charlie.
Sorry.
I want to slap you, mate. Oh, it's just so... You know what the most annoying thing is? It's so hard being annoyed at someone who you don't... Like, I'm not annoyed at Charlie. I'm annoyed for Charlie. And it's coming out as me being annoyed at him because I'm fucking pissed off. But also, sorry, I know I'm ranting, but the fucking leaves are on the painting there. I've just noticed, but... Anyway, back to my annoyance. It's not that I'm just like frustrated for Charlie. it's so aggravating because I just want him to be happy, and seeing him be his own worst enemy right now is so sad because you've got Nick here who's like, I don't know if Nick fully understands. Nick is a very beautiful human being, so I would be surprised if Nick isn't understanding what's going on here in Charlie's head. But also, Nick's allowed to have his own insecurities, so if he takes it that Charlie doesn't really want to be with him right now, I'd still get it, but I'm fingers crossed hoping that he understands that Charlie thinks he's ruining his life and all shit like that.
Come in.
Is he gonna leave the team?
I think I'm gonna quit the rugby team.
Have the boys been giving you a hard time?
Ooh.
Do you need to talk to anyone?
No,
Oh, I like that.
it's just me.
Well, she knows that Harry's been suspended for fighting, so I wonder if she realizes that something has been going on there. Oh, Nick, this is an interesting choice. It's a very big, like, bold choice. Well done, but...
Charlie avoiding you too.
I'm avoiding him.
Why?
Because I'm pissed off with him.
Why? Please explain.
I'm done trying to protect him when he's forgotten I exist. Like, I deserve to be appreciated.
Yeah, but I think you're taking this too far, mate.
I think Charlie might be nervous about telling you because he really cares about your opinion.
Nick is so, like, emotionally mature.
Oh, I'll believe that when I actually see it.
Tao, fuck's sake. How are you going to see it if you're avoiding him?
I think maybe he's finding it hard, having to lie to people about us. He's not.
I don't know how I feel about that sentence. I think he's having a hard time about having to lie to people about us. While I think that is technically true, because no matter how understanding you are, it's going to be fucking hard to not be able to tell people. I think a lot of this is, like, we know. Obviously, Nick hasn't seen Charlie break down and all of that. We know that Charlie's having a hard time because he thinks that he's ruining Nick's life. And obviously, Nick wouldn't be able to understand that because it's not. Like, he knows that Charlie isn't destroying his life. It's not even a thought in his head. So the fact that it hasn't occurred to Nick that that's why, I enjoy that because it reinforces the idea that Nick doesn't think that at all, not one single bit. But on what Tao was saying, I can understand why Tao would feel that way and why he thinks that he's not being appreciated and why he thinks that Charlie doesn't love him or whatever. But I don't think that's fair to Charlie because, of course, Charlie's going to be infatuated and be obsessed with Nick when he's dealt with all of this bullying in the past, when he's dealt with feeling like a piece of shit because of Ben. Of course he's going to, like, be so focused on Nick because he's finally found something that's making him happy. And yes, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that being friends with Tao and all that isn't making him happy. That's not my point. My point is about relationships. He's gone from one extreme to the other. He's gone from one of the worst fucking experiences you could ever have in a relationship, where you're basically treated like a fucking pile of shit, to then being held on a pedestal. Like, Nick adores him. So to go from one to the other, it would be very hard for Charlie to process that. And so he's going to be spending a lot of time with Nick and just enjoying the happy bliss. So it's understandable why he would not hang out with Tao as much anymore, but I don't know. When it comes to relationships, I get it when it comes to friendships, and you get sad when your friend, like, makes other friends and it's like going from, you're like demoted from best friend to friend and then they're upscaled from friend to best friend. It's like you've been replaced. I get that, but I've never thought about it with relationships, because when a friend has gone into a relationship, it's a different kind of relationship than a friendship, because obviously they're getting together. They're actually being a couple. So you have to understand that person is going to be sort of... It's hard to say more important, because I think a lot of people in relationships would disagree with that statement and say that they love their best friend as much as they love their boyfriend. But my point is that you have to understand that person is now going to be an important part of their life. Tao has to understand that if Charlie and Nick are going to be getting together, he's going to be an important part of Charlie's life. That's just the way it is. So the idea of being replaced shouldn't even be in his head, because he hasn't been replaced. He's still one of Charlie's best friends. It's just someone else has been added to the group, and you should try and enjoy that person as well. I hope that Tao and Nick can form some kind of friendship of their own, because that would be really beautiful.
I've known Charlie since we were 11. He's always had a tendency to believe that him just existing is annoying for other people.
Yes.
He would literally never tell you this, but he probably wants to be something more than secret guy you kiss sometimes on the down low.
Yeah.
If you can't give him more than that, then... I mean, that's fine, but it's always going to make him feel a little bit crap about himself.
Yeah, completely valid.
Oh.
I like that Tao knew that. That shows a
should talk to
closeness that it shows a closeness that even though Nick may be becoming Charlie's boyfriend. Sorry, I know I keep pausing and talking. I know it annoys some people, and I know some people tell me like don't apologize, but I can't help but apologize because I know that some people just want to watch me watch it. But anyway, to my point. I love that Tao knows that because even though Charlie and Nick are becoming closer, time is an essential element of any relationship, no matter if it's a friendship or an actual getting a boyfriend or that. And Tao has known him for so long that Tao is going to have a deeper understanding of Charlie's feelings. And this is my point of I wish that him and Nick would be friends, because the best way that you can find out and find the best way to support your partner is to get to know their friends and to ask their friends questions, because a lot of the time people go to their friends with their issues and your friends understand you a lot more than a lot of other people in your life. If they're a close friend. If they're like a shitty superficial friend, then no. But you get what I mean. I'm glad that Nick and Tao are having this conversation. Oh, he didn't reply to that. Interesting. Is he gonna reply?
Things are getting heavy.
If you say I'm sorry. Oh, Nick, please go round to his house. I've had enough.
Can be cruel as
Oh, Charlie. Gotta feel for him.
I want to do this.
Hell yeah. You got this, hun. You face them, bastards. Luckily, Harry's been suspended, so you won't have to face that fucker. I hated Sports Day with a passion. Just the idea that everyone was looking at you. Nick, I'm gonna need you to like sneak up on the man and like rugby tackle him so he can't get away. And then force him to talk.
Help!
Hi.
Ah.
Tram students, Higgs students, welcome to the day I know you've all been waiting for.
I forget that Stephen Fry does those announcements. That was a weird thing to hear.
If you haven't signed up for an event, Miss Sarah will hunt you down and murder you.
I love that.
So, good luck, one and all, and go do sports.
Go do sports. No, thank you.
You've been coming in here for lunch a lot recently.
Talk.
And when I was at school, I thought that hiding from it all was safer, easier. But sometimes the loneliness was just as bad.
What a good teacher.
Let anyone make you disappear, Charlie.
Hell yeah. Don't give them that power. I love him. What a fantastic teacher to have around. If this was a real school, they'd be fucking lucky to have him.
Oh no.
Run.
Who has failed to sign up for an event.
Run.
You'll be doing the 200 metres for Team Blue.
But miss, I can't run.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, we've seen him try and run. It was interesting.
You hate running, I'll run it for you.
Oh,
Thanks.
oh my boy.
I'm just sorry.
Year 10s and 11s doing the
I'm gonna strangle you into not saying sorry anymore, you little fucking arsehole. See, that's the thing. It's like, Tao is obviously aware that Charlie blames himself for everything, which is why it was so fucking annoying to hear Tao say, it's your fault for everything, because obviously a lot of people say things out of anger that they don't really mean just because they know it will hurt, and that's why Tao said it. He doesn't truly believe that it's Charlie's fault for everything, but he knows that it will hurt Charlie, and that's why he said it, which you can play it off as a said in the heat of the moment rather than a thoughtful thing. He didn't sit down one day and go, you know what, later on when I have that fight, I'm going to say to Charlie, it's your fault for everything. He didn't have that. It was said in the heat of the moment. So like you can brush it off a bit, but he still said it. And I think that Tao does need to apologize for that anyway. Even if he thinks that he's in the right for whatever reason, he should apologize for just saying that no matter what. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really hard to see friends fight, and it's really hard to see Charlie just continuously blame himself for everything.
You obsessed with me or something?
Can you fuck off? Can you actually fuck off? I'm literally about to deck him. Bloody hell. Beat him, Charlie. Come on, just fucking speed past the bastard, knock his leg over and trip him up. Little wanker. Yeah, get fucked, Ben. Get fucked. Hey! Oh, I'm proud of you, my boy. Oh, he's going over to him. What are you going to say?
You don't get to have an opinion about anything I do.
Do you want me to go around telling people about you and Nick?
Do you want me to go around telling people about me and you?
Oh!
That's what I thought. Except I wouldn't do that because I'm a decent person.
Yeah, you twat.
But you don't get to make me feel like crap anymore just because you hate yourself. So leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. That was fucking beautiful. My boy. I love you. Well done. Oh, the growth, mate. Well done. But moment of silence for Ben, everyone, because he was just fucking decimated. All right, that's all you're getting from me.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I should
Oh.
have been a better friend and I've been kind of... I shouldn't have gotten angry at you.
Nice. Well done, boys.
Me and Elle were going to go exploring around all her old classrooms. Do you want to come?
Nah, you go, I'll be fine.
Aw, now you need to talk to Nick. What amazing explorers. She literally looked at it for 2 seconds. Nice one, Tara. Oh, look at them. Oh, I love you. Well done, girls.
I was in here every lunchtime. Are you doing landscapes this year?
Is this where Elle met Charlie then, and how they became friends? If she always used to go in the art block at lunch breaks. We gonna have a talk?
I was going to tell you something.
Is she gonna do it?
You've got the wrong team's face paint on.
That's
Okay.
Charlie's fault for swapping.
Interesting. I wonder if that's gonna be a later in the episode thing or a season 2 thing. I feel like a season 2 thing, to be honest. I feel like they'll save it.
Come on. I want to go find my old locker.
I thought so. Well, safe to say we have confirmation that Tao likes Elle as well. Bro, this show, stop it! Charlie isn't in it though, is he? Nick doesn't know though, does he? Oh, he's looking for him. Dude, stop. This is actually getting me emotional. He's gonna go up to him in public, bro. Stop. Bro, stop. Dude, stop! Oh, she smiled. Bless your heart, love.
I don't want to break up.
Aww.
I know people have hurt you, and you feel like I'd be better off without you, but I need you to know that my life is way better because I met you.
Well done.
You don't have to say that.
I'm gonna hurt you, mate. I'm gonna fucking hurt you. He doesn't have to say it, but he does have to say it, Charlie, because if he doesn't say it, you're never gonna believe it. And well done, Nick. The best way to combat these kind of negative thoughts that Charlie is having is you literally make him fucking face you. You tell him the facts, you tell him the feelings that he's having, and you tell him that they're bullshit. Because that's not true, Charlie. Unless Nick has done the perfect thing here. By actually facing him and telling him the literal facts of, I know you feel this way, Charlie now has to be like, well, shit, yeah, I do. And then by telling him no, he's giving him the evidence that, no, you're wrong. Where's your evidence? Why do you think you're making my life hell? Because I lost friends? I told you I don't like those friends. They're fucking horrible people. I don't want to be around them. You're beautiful. I want to be around you. Love you, Nick. And I love you, Charlie.
I don't care about getting into fights or pissing off my mates or anything like that. It's all worth it to be with you. You are. And if you really want to break up, then I would respect your decision, but I want us to be together.
Nick.
You're my favourite person.
Nick.
I need you to believe me.
You're my favorite person. Fuck off.
I believe you.
Yay. Oh, bro. Stop.
We're in the corridor.
Who gives a shit?
Oh. So what?
How can you tell me where we're going?
Where are they going? Bro, where are they going? What?
We're nearly there.
Oh, look, him just confidently walking, hands held down the street.
Seagulls?
Oh, Nick, I love you. Oh, they gone to the seaside?
Oh my god! The beach! Yeah, surprise! Oh my god!
Dude! I'm really trying not to be jealous. I'm really trying. It's fucking hard.
I was thinking, what if I came out?
That's your decision, my boy. Up to you. Don't do it for Charlie.
I know I've been pretty unsure of everything for a while, but I'm definitely bisexual. And I don't want to have to sneak around pretending we're platonic BFFs.
Hell yeah.
My God, I like you so much.
Ah, stop!
And I love liking you.
I love liking you.
I like Charlie Spring in a romantic way, not just a friend way.
Hell yeah.
I never thought this would happen to me.
Aww. You deserve it. You both deserve it.
Does this mean we're boyfriends?
Yes. Has that not already established the last 10 times we made out?
I love that Nick was like, are you stupid?
You're my boyfriend. I'm your boyfriend. We're boyfriends.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
If you're about to tell me that we're about to see him come out to his mum, I don't know if I could handle that, bro. I don't know if my heart can take much more, if I'm honest with you. Oh, right. Oh, he's going to. I mean, she already like established it last episode, didn't she? 'Cause she said, is Charlie a very special friend?
You know Charlie's like my best friend.
If you're going to ask if he can come on our Menorca holiday this year, the answer's no, because I've already booked the ticket.
I love you. Oh, look at him.
He's my boyfriend. Charlie's my boyfriend.
Well done. I am proud of you.
I still like girls, but I like boys too.
Oh, baby.
Bro, stop.
Oh, thank you for telling me. You don't have to say you like girls if you don't.
No, I
I was wondering if she'd think that.
It's called bisexuality, if you've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I wasn't born in the 18th century. How long have you known?
Sorry, I need a fucking moment. Fuck off. Oh, right, I've collected myself.
Me and Charlie started going out a couple months ago, but I started liking him way before that.
Aw.
Oh, I love you.
Ah, I love their relationship so fucking much. Is this the end? Don't. Don't. Is this zoom out the end? Bro, no. No. Fuck me, bro. I don't want it to end. I know we got another season, but... So yes, that was episode 8 of Heartstopper. It is officially over. I don't quite know how to take that information right now, to be honest with you. I'm trying my best to accept the fact that we will not see it for another year, but I think that it's not quite going in, to be honest. I still feel a bit... I feel like, honestly... Do you ever watch something and it like takes all of your brain power and you finish it and your brain is still processing everything? So you're just dead? Because that's where my brain's at right now. Like it's been 15 minutes since I stopped recording and I still have not come back to myself, which is shocking. It was so good. It was so good. It ticked all of my boxes and more. It was cute. We had the repairing of relationships. We had honesty, which was such a key part that needed to happen in everything today. And everything's done. We're happy. I'm so excited. Next season, like, they're together. I wonder if they're going to be comfortable enough together that they're going to be boyfriends at school. Like, they're actually just going to be out and proud. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they're not, simply because... That's a lot to ask of anyone. Like, a school environment is a very negative environment for a lot of queer people. A lot of people in general, don't get me wrong, but I just mean that when it comes to, like, being in a relationship at school, you're asking for a lot of hate. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep that part of it a secret, but I hope that they don't. I hope that they're out and proud, and we see them deal with the hate that comes their way, because I think it's very important to show a younger audience how to healthily take it, because it's shit. And a lot of people, like, I don't think you'll ever go through your life, if you're queer, I don't think you're ever going to go through your life without some kind of bullying in any way, shape, or form at some point. So I think that it's very important to show people that it happens and this is the way to get through it. This is how, say, I have taken this and this is how I approach it and I don't let it get to me and these are the coping mechanisms I use. Do you know what I mean? I think there's very important things that you can teach children, and that's why I hope that they have them be together at school next season so that we can see that happen. Not because I want to see it. Never want to see anything like that, but to see a healthy representation of how people cope with the pain, that's something that I think is needed, even though I don't want these characters to go through that. Now, let's try and talk about the episode, if I can get my brain to fucking wake up again. So, we started off with a lot of pain. Everyone was obviously on bad terms, and luckily by the end everything was reconciled. But let's talk about Charlie and Tao. I liked the way that they went about it. My one issue with what happened with Charlie and Tao in their reconciliation was that I don't think I know that we're limited on time, that's why, like, episode-wise, I'm not judging the show because they were limited on time in trying to fit all of this in, but if we're going in-universe for a moment, and I'm talking about the way that they spoke to each other, I would have appreciated Charlie and Tao to talk a bit more in depth about everything that went down, because they both apologized to each other. And yes, I'm all for apologizing and moving on, so long as these don't come up in the future, so long as they both understand what they did to hurt each other and it won't happen again. But I think that they do understand. To give them credit, I think that they do understand. It's just, I don't know. I would have appreciated them to go into a bit more depth so that we know for sure that they understand what went wrong in this scenario. Like, I would have appreciated Tao to be a bit more specific in his apology of what he said. And then I would also appreciate Charlie to be a bit more specific in why he didn't tell Tao, because I think it's very needed to have the truthful information from each other. I think it's needed to have that to squash any kind of insecurities that you have. But they seem to be on good terms, so whatever works for them, 100% fucking go for it. If they're happy after this, beautiful. Now let's talk about Nick and Charlie and how fucking perfect the handling of all that was. Like, honestly, it's so hard to come by a character like Nick, let alone a person like Nick. He is so emotionally mature, because when you take a character like Charlie, who is very insecure, he essentially hates himself, and he thinks that he's a burden to a lot of people. We had a lot of growth. I'll talk about him and Ben in a second. But when you have a character like Charlie who's having all these insecure thoughts, you need to tell them exactly what thoughts they're having. You need to make them face the truth. You need to say, look, I know you have these feelings. I know that you think that you are ruining my life, but I'm here to tell you that you're fucking not. Because to challenge his beliefs, to challenge Charlie's thoughts, and to tell him no, you are literally giving him the evidence he needs to tell himself that he's wrong. Because when these thoughts will come up in the future, like Charlie's like, oh no, I'm being a burden to him, he can then have that memory in his mind of Nick saying, duh, you're fucking wrong, and use that to get past it. And that's fucking beautiful. And the fact that Nick knows that he needs that is beautiful. Now, speaking of, oh my God, when he spoke to Ben, that is like proper like proud parent moment for me. I was sat there in fucking awe. Well done, Charlie. Because all of the shit that Ben said last episode was so damaging. It was some of the most disgusting things that you can say to someone. And it was so targeted as well. And yes, I get that some people will have sympathy for Ben. And on some level, I do have some sympathy for him. Don't think that I'm sitting here thinking he's one of the most horrible human beings ever. He's fucking close to it. But I do have some sympathy for him because obviously he's struggling himself and this is the way that he's lashing out. But that doesn't excuse his actions. And I'm so fucking proud for Charlie for standing up to him and just telling him how it is. Beautifully done. Now, there are two more scenes I want to touch on. The first one is his scene with Tori. Because, my God, what a beautiful sister. What a beautiful person to have in your life. Because you can tell someone like Tori, I don't know a lot about her. I know that there is a book on her, which I am debating reading. I don't know where I stand with the books. I know I'm not going to read the 1 to 4s. I know I'm not going to read all of the Heartstopper books, just because I know they'll contain spoilers for future seasons, and I don't really want that. But I don't know where I stand on the other ones, because I don't know where they go. I have got them all, by the way. Hold on. My children, look at them. Dude, they're so beautiful. Oh my God. Oh my God. But yeah, I know that one of them is a Tory book, isn't it? But I know that it doesn't like, I know that it like, what am I trying to say? I know that it probably won't fully impact the story because obviously this is a Nick and Charlie story. Heartstopper is just about them and their journey. And even though other people are included, a book that's focused on Tori, I think won't have too many spoilers, but I'm still very, very iffy on reading it simply because I want to know the character based on the show. Do you know what I mean? I want to see the character's portrayal from the show, and I don't know if reading the book will like fuck with that. So I probably won't read it, to be honest. I'll probably save, I know it's bad because it's going to be years away, but I'm probably going to save all of these books for after Heartstopper is done and only read the graphic novels when I get to those points. Like, for instance, I know that there is like, isn't there like, I can read book 1 or something. I'll look it up before I read it. Don't worry, I'm not going to get any spoilers. But I know that there's a certain point that I can read up to now because it's already established, which I am very excited for. But yeah, I don't think I'll read any of the others because I don't want to ruin it. But from what we've got of Tori, even though it's been a little bit, that scene with her and Charlie was so fucking powerful. And where was I going with it though? Because I was talking about Tori herself. I can't remember where my thought was. Oh, I remember. The reason I was bringing up Tori was because Tori herself, from the limited time that we've seen, comes across as one of those people who struggles with her emotions and struggles to be open because she seems like a very closed book. She seems depressed as well, which I hope that we explore a bit later on, but she seems very closed off. So the fact that she was there for Charlie and she was so ready to help him, and so, because you find a lot, people who have been through a lot of trauma in their lives tend to be the ones who are the wisest and tend to be the ones who are the most understanding. And you could see it in her face when she knelt down to help him and she was like, what's going on? It's because she understood. She noticed the behavior and she knows the ways that she can try and help him. And I really found that beautiful, and just the big sister energy. Absolutely gorgeous to witness. I love that. I really hope we get a lot more of her in season 2 because I don't know. That was just so beautiful. Now, the final scene I want to talk about was the final scene, which was him and his mum, Nick. Oh my God, bro. That was so beautiful. Just to watch them have that. The connection Nick has with his mum is one that is so rare for... I can't really speak on straight guys because I don't know their relationship, but I know for queer men, their mother tends to be their like favorite person. Like if you look at statistics, a lot of queer men, their mother tends to be the one that they go to the most, which I find very interesting. I've always wondered why. I want to know the psychology of that. And yes, there are obviously a lot of outliers. Like a lot of people, their families are just fucking horrible and they throw them out, they mistreat them, they don't accept them, which is very sad. And to all those people out there, I love you. But to see such a healthy relationship with a parent when you're coming out is so beautiful to see on TV. So beautiful. It's another one of those things that makes me so happy that Heartstopper is out there for people, for kids of like Nick and Charlie's age and below, even above, just for people out there to see that it's not all doom and gloom. And when you do have that healthy relationship, it can be so freeing to tell people. And to be honest, it's so nice that people have such a healthy representation for coming out, because there's been a lot of media in the years and there's been a lot of coming out scenes in TV, which, to be honest, a lot of them I don't like because a lot of them are they're like dramatized. And is that a word? Dramatized? I don't think it is. That's like I've made a jazzercise word, dramatize. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. They add the drama in, they add the flair, they make it not realistic. Whereas I think Nick's scene with his mum there was very realistic and just so fucking beautifully done. Because we got to see someone go through a happy experience of coming out, which unfortunately, a lot of the time in TV, it's not happy because, again, they're focusing on a drama show. And so a lot of the results are not positive. Whereas to have a positive result and to have just such a beautiful connection with a parent, I think is so lovely to see on TV. I don't know if any of what I just said made sense, because genuinely my brain is still broken, but I just fucking love this show so much. It's definitely on my list of like top 5 shows of all time for sure. But yes, I believe that covers everything. Now, to those of you that don't know, and I wouldn't blame you if you don't, I do a thing on Patreon called Question Time, where at the end of every single episode, I answer questions that patrons have asked, and I do it as a separate post on my Patreon, so I don't see them, because basically, so I'll post episode 3, and then everyone will post their questions for episode 4, so when I record it, I can read them after. But I will say, I didn't read any of them, but I got so many questions for Heartstopper's finale. So I'm going to answer as many as I can now, but I do apologize if I miss any of yours. It's simply because there are a lot. Okay, so first up, there are two questions that are very similar, so I'm going to combine them. First up, we have, what are your thoughts of the lunch chat between Tao and Nick? And then secondly, what do you think about the difference in Tao and Nick's perspective as to why Charlie is avoiding Nick? So the lunch chat in general, beautiful. The idea of seeing someone's best friend who they've known for years and their new boyfriend interact has always been such an interesting concept to me, because you're seeing two very, very different perspectives. You're seeing the perspective of someone who's known them for years, but maybe not know them in other ways, whereas you're seeing someone who then knows them in those ways, but hasn't known them for very long. Do you know what I mean? So I've just always loved the idea of those two things coming together, and you always see in real life as well, the best plans are always made between the boyfriend and the best friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, when the partner goes to your best friend for advice on anything like a present or what you enjoy, like anything like that, it's always the best option because you're getting the insight of theirs while also combining it with yours. So you really do get to know the person in that sense. So I really enjoyed that, one, Nick actually had the courage to go over and talk to Tao, and then two, I appreciate that Tao was very responsive to Nick. He didn't shut him down. He didn't just want to not listen. He was listening to Nick, and he was giving Nick advice, and he was trying to help Charlie through Nick, which I really appreciated. Now, the second part of that, in the difference between perspectives, I found so interesting to see, because it's like I said earlier on, when you've known someone for that many years, doesn't matter if you're their best friend or their boyfriend, time does have an element to play in a lot of things. And the fact that Tao has known Charlie for that long, and he's seen Charlie go through being bullied, and he's been there in his darkest moments, he knows Charlie the best. And you sort of saw from Nick's side of things that Nick thought that the reason that Charlie didn't want to be with him was the fact that Nick didn't want to come out, and they were keeping it a secret, which is sort of like Nick's insecurity. And I like that they showed that Nick was attributing his own insecurities to why Charlie wouldn't want to be with him, because he was thinking to himself, why wouldn't someone want to be with me? Well, I'm not making it easy on Charlie by keeping this a secret. And then you see his thought process go from there. So that's the way I understood what Nick was saying, which I like, because I like that they showed that Nick isn't just this perfect man, and he has his own insecurities. He has his own issues that he's dealing with. And it was really sad that he thought that that's why Charlie wouldn't want to be with him, because yes, it may be hard, and I'm not saying that for Charlie it isn't hard for them to not be out and proud, but like Tao was saying, it's not that it's hard on Charlie that they're not coming out. It's just Charlie himself is telling himself that he is a burden and he's causing all these issues. So by not being out and proud, it's easy to play on Charlie's mind. But I don't think that Nick was right in that, and I'm glad that Tao was there to put some perspective there, because like I was saying, best friend, known him for a while, he's going to know Charlie a little bit better. Now, moving on from there, next up, I've seen conflicting opinions on the scene when Nick approaches Charlie on the field and pulls him away. Some people say grabbing Charlie's hand was a pretty clear statement about them being together, but others don't. Do you have any thoughts on this? So, I was kind of a bit confused myself, not confused, I was conflicted myself when I watched it, because I thought, when you saw Imogen's reaction and the smile that was on her face, it's clear that Imogen knew what was going down. But with everyone else, you could say that it's not so clear. However, in my opinion, it is clear. Not so much that they're together, but that there's definitely something going on. Because typically straight men do not behave with one another like that. It's sad to say, and it's sad to see, but it's a reality. A lot of straight men wouldn't hold each other's hands because of the prejudices, and because people are just like, oh, you're gay, which is just ridiculous. So I think seeing them hold hands to the general public, people are going to take it that they're together. So that's the way I see it, but I understand why people think that to them it's not a clear indication, because I think if it was two straight people and that happened, it wouldn't be as clear as it would be if it was two men. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if... I feel like I'm not talking properly today, which is annoying, but do you get what I mean? Because it's two guys, I think that it's a lot clearer, because it's less likely to happen if they were straight. Yeah. Now, moving on, in the art room, it seems like this is the first time Tao has realized he has romantic feelings for Elle. Why do you think he hasn't noticed those feelings before? So, I actually had some thoughts about this. I think there are two reasons why Tao has not like noticed this before. One, I think is because he's been so focused on his friendship with Charlie that he hasn't really thought about anything else, and he's just enjoyed his time with Elle, and then he's stressing about Charlie. But also, seeing Charlie get into a happy relationship has kind of like unlocked something in Tao's head, and he's a bit like, well, I want that as well, because yeah, I have all these best friends like Charlie does, but Charlie seems to be really happy with Nick, and he seems to have found the right person for him, so why don't I have that? And I think that Tao wasn't even like thinking of that being a possibility until now, because apart from Elle, does Tao even have any female friends? I don't think he does. And he appears straight, so I would assume he's only interested in women. So I think it's taken to this point where he's actually thought to himself, maybe it would be nice to be in a relationship, that he's now started to see Elle and realize, oh, fuck, I like her. You know, I think it's like flip the switch. That's the way I see it anyway. Now, moving on, next up, what are your thoughts on Nick's coming out scene? I love how open, honest, and comfortable he feels around his mum at the end of the episode. I really, really loved it because it's hard to say what's realistic because there's so many different situations in the world, and everyone's family relationships are going to be different. Everyone's relationships with their mums are going to be different from another person's. So it's hard to say what's realistic. But taking realism out of it, it's just nice to have a positive reaction for once. And even then, for the positive reaction to not be too dramatic. Like, yeah, she was extremely happy, but it wasn't so like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? It was very chilled out, and it was just happy and nice. And it was nice to see a positive reaction for once, to be honest with you, because one, I'm kind of fed up of the negative reactions. I'm kind of fed up of the storylines where it's so much drama relating to coming out, because yes, some people do have negative reactions to when they come out, and it's fucking sad, but it's nice that we have a positive reaction for once, and we have a joyful reaction for once, which I think just speaks to Heartstopper as a whole. It's nice to just have a nice, happy show for once, because we deal with so much shit in our lives anyway, that it can't hurt to have our own little gay fairy tale, you know? Now, in terms of the scene itself, fucking beautiful, and Nick's mum is a gem, an angel. We love her. She was immediately positive, immediately happy, smiles on her face, was asking all the right questions. She was genuinely intrigued. And even when he then, I liked that they included that she said you don't have to say you like girls, because the second that he said, I like girls as well, but I also like boys, I was thinking to myself, a lot of people, when you say that, they take it as you trying to like dull it down a bit and say like, no, but I still like girls, don't think that. Whereas no, bisexual people exist, funnily enough. So I'm glad that they included that to show Nick shutting that down and being like, no, genuinely, I like girls as well. And again, how open and happy she was to hear it, and how just fucking joyful she was the whole time. Bloody beautiful, mate. I loved it. One of my favorite scenes of all time. Right, the next group of questions are more generalized and more about the future of Heartstopper, so let's get into it. Right, first up, what are your plans for Heartstopper now that the season is done? So, funny you mention it. This Sunday, the 12th of June, I believe, we are doing a full watch party of Heartstopper on my Discord. It will be the entire show. I'm not too positive on a time yet. It will likely be around 5 p.m. UK time. So if that interests you, hop over there. We normally get in the VC, everyone mutes, and then we talk in the text chat while we're watching it, because there's just too many voices to have the voices on. I would love to be able to talk to everyone, but holy shit, there's so many of us. So if that interests you, come over there. It is one hell of a time. We are also doing the Umbrella Academy watch parties. We've got 4 episodes left of season 2, and then we are moving on to season 3 when it comes out as sort of like a live watch, because I'm not going to do reactions because it's fucking hard, but I will be watching them for the first time on there. So again, if it interests you, hop over there. Now, in terms of the books and everything, I don't think I'm going to read them, to be honest. I'm going to read the graphic novels up to the point that I'm allowed, up until the beach scene and all that. Like everything that happened this episode, I'm going to read up to, but I'm not going to read any of the others because, I don't know. I'm going to ask people on my Discord server what they feel about, I think it's Solitaire. I think Solitaire is the one that's about Tori, and if it will have a huge impact on Charlie and Nick's story as a whole. And then I might read that, but in terms of the other ones, I'm gonna leave them, just in case. I like to have fresh reactions, and even if I've never experienced reading a book and then reacting to something, I've never done it, but I like having more fresh reactions. I don't like knowing what's gonna happen, and even if they deviate from the books a lot, I just, I don't know. I don't want to taint my brain. I want to have everything that is established on the show. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave them until once the show is fully done, which I know is years, so my precious books, I'm sorry. I will not be reading you. I really do apologize, but eventually I will get to you, okay? I'm sorry. Right, next up, if any, what do you hope they handle better in the following seasons? Now, so basically I've noted all these questions down so that I have like a good list that I can read. When I read this question, the person included the fact that they hoped that the timeline was handled better, and I sat here for a good minute trying to think about my opinion of that. And genuinely, that's the only issue I have with the show. The only issue, because I can't remember if it was last episode or the episode before, one character mentioned that so-and-so was months ago. And I sat here and thought to myself, months? Like, how long has it been between scenes? Because, like, I get that they said, because I remember it. I remember one of the scenes. Someone said the months of intense pining. Elle said it, didn't she, when they were at the ice cream place? She said the months of intense pining. And I thought to myself, months? Like, how long did Charlie like Nick before anything happened? And then even then, when stuff started to happen, how long? The only indications that we've really had of time that I can think of are the sports day, because that always happens at the end of the year, and the fact that they started term together, which correct me if I'm wrong, aren't there 3 terms? Yeah, because you have half term and then you have the end of term. Yeah, and then you always have holidays at those points. So there are 6 half terms, which means that there are 3 terms. So I would assume that this was all in one term, the final term of school. That's the way I'm taking it, but I'm not too positive on that because it wasn't clear. So, like you said, I hope that they make that a bit better next season. But in terms of everything else, there are things that I'm looking forward to, and there are things I hope they do. But in terms of things they did better, nothing really. Nothing. I really did appreciate this. I'd say my only criticism was the fact that they're 30 minutes long. I would have really loved, like, 8 episodes, 60 minutes long to fully explore them, but I get it, like the source material, because it's a graphic novel, it's not going to be as much material as if it was like a full-on book, so I get that they were a bit limited in that front, and so it was going to be a shorter show, but I don't know. I wish that it was like 8 episodes an hour long, like a big long story. I would really love that. So yeah, only criticisms, I want it to be longer, and I want them to make the timeline a bit easier to understand. Right, next up, do you see a redemption arc for Ben? I don't know. To be honest, it's not something I look forward to. It's not something I hope happens necessarily, just because I get that Ben's got his own struggles and all of this comes from his own hatred for himself, and I would appreciate for his own sake him having a redemption arc, but redemption arcs just, I find them a little bit boring sometimes, to be honest with you. I find them a little cliche and too done. With a character like Ben, I would just appreciate knowing that he becomes a good human being and then moving on. I don't need him in Charlie's life. I don't need to see him a lot in the show. Saying that though, no, now I'm torn. Because I've seen so many, basically while watching this, I've seen so much stuff that's not spoilers, don't worry, I've stayed well away from spoilers. But I've seen so many stuff with Bash in, the actor. So I say that I don't want Ben in the show, but I want him in the show. So I'm like, maybe I do want a redemption arc then for him alone. God, now you've got me torn. Right, character-wise, if I'm just talking about the character, I don't really want to see him ever again, but knowing that it is Bash and knowing that we get more of him, I would appreciate more of the character, and I would put up with more of Ben, you know? But yeah, that's where I'm standing it. Character-wise, no, but realistically, yes. Right, next up, bit of a longer one. As they make seasons 2 and 3, do you think they should prioritize keeping the joyful tone of the show, or do you think it's natural that the show become more serious as it progresses? How do you think the show has done so far with striking that balance? Interesting. That's going to take a long one for me to think about. Hold on. In terms of how well they've done so far keeping a balance, I think they've done a very good job. And then when you think about how they would do it in the future, I do think there are certain things that I do want to come up. I do want them to explore a few more serious things. However, I don't necessarily want them to change how much joy is in this show, because I think we can all agree the reason Heartstopper was such a hit, not only because of the actors and all of like the fucking incredibleness of the show, one of the main reasons it's been so popular is because it's so joyful, is because we finally have such a positive story that, yes, there's been some bits of homophobia in, there's been some struggles for our characters, but at the end of the day, we've seen a beautiful, happy love story between 2 queer people, which has been so nice to see. So I don't know how I feel about it getting darker. I would appreciate if they kept a lot of the joy. Let's take it right now. Say the balance between pain and joy is at like a 20 to 80% balance. I wouldn't mind if it goes 40-60. I just want there to be more joy than pain. That's all I want. I want it to stick to being this joyful show that people can go to when they're hurting, but also has some element of truth to it. Because, like, no one's life is perfect. No one's life is full of joy. So the only way to make it realistic is to add some pain. But I hope that the joy outweighs the pain. That's my only thoughts so far. Now, next up, now having the full series to look back on, what do you feel are the truly standout moments of the show? Holy shit, what a question. Should we do, like, best moment per episode, or is that not fair for some episodes? No, let's do it. Best moment per episode. I want to do it. Right, so I have gone through every episode and picked out my favorite scenes. So, episode 1, obviously White Knight Nick coming to Charlie's rescue and pushing Ben to the ground because he's a piece of fucking trash, which was beautiful to see. That was such a great opener for the season, to be honest, to just immediately see who Nick is as a person. I think that was a really nice scene. Now, episode 2, Playing in the Snow, which I know just won an award, didn't it? What did it win? It won an award for, like, best musical moment or something, which you could argue with Heartstopper, because they had some really good musical moments, but that's one of my favorite songs of the show. I keep listening to it. I listen to it all the time. It's on my, like, favorite playlist of all time, so definitely really appreciate that scene. Now, episode 3, obviously the namesake of the episode, the kiss. Seeing them kiss for the first time and seeing Nick be vulnerable with Charlie was really nice to see. And then on those same lines, episode 4, when Nick went to Charlie's house, and it wasn't so much like, I loved that Nick went to Charlie's house and just like cleared the air immediately, because that was one of the first moments that made me truly love Nick. Again, like I said earlier, emotionally mature he is to just go to Charlie's house and sort the issue out immediately rather than letting it sit and grow worse. But my favorite part of all of that wasn't that, it was how open and honest he was. He went and sat on Charlie's bed and just opened up to him immediately and told him how confused he was, and it was just really nice to see. I loved it. Now, episode 5 was when Nick and Imogen were on the bench, because honestly, looking at this list, almost all of these are because of Nick. Almost all of my favorite moments are with Nick, so I think it's safe to say he's my favorite character. But yes, back to episode 5. Nick and Imogen on the bench was... You know what? When we're done with this list, I'm going to order them, because I was going to say that's one of my favorite scenes. I'm going to say what my top 3 are. That's definitely in them, but I will rank them in a minute. But yeah, that was such a good scene simply because he had so many truths, and it really touched me, the things that Nick was saying about suppressing your emotions and suppressing parts of yourself when you're growing up. And I really liked that Heartstopper itself included that in the show. I just think that's a really important scene. Now, episode 6 was Nick telling Tara and Darcy, because it was just so nice to know that someone finally knows, and that birthed our friendship group. So I really like that. Now, episode 7, Nick punching Harry. It was hard to find a favorite scene of episode 7 just because it was so fucking sad, but that's definitely one of them. Just how he immediately stood up to Harry. How Harry was just talking so much shit and then came out with the F-bomb, which was one of the things that I did not expect to come out of this show, but I'm not surprised. Like, it's the worst insult that you could throw at a gay person, so I'm not surprised that Harry, of all people, would say it, but just the way that Nick immediately punched him to the ground, bloody beautiful, and I loved him for it. Now, episode 8, I really struggled. I'm gonna go with 2, which was the beach scene and the scene with his mum, because I would take them as 2 separate favorite moments. It was favorite moment for Nick and then favorite moment for Charlie and Nick as a couple in the show. In terms of the overall show and them as a couple, definitely the beach scene. Absolutely beautiful to see Nick pull all of Charlie's worries at bay. And then when Charlie said, "So are we boyfriends?" and Nick was basically like, "Are you fucking stupid? Of course we're boyfriends." It was so cute. But my favorite moment, I'm torn, because Nick's moment with his mum was so beautiful, and for his own personal development, it was so nice to see. And I've always appreciated his relationship with his mum because it's so cute. Like, they're just so open and honest with each other, which is so rare for teens to be that open with their parents. So I just love their relationship so much that that's got to be up there. So I'm putting them both as my favorite moments. Now, in terms of ranking, to put my top 3, let's think about this. So number 3, I think, would be probably the beach scene, and then number 2, Nick and Imogen on the bench, and number 1, Nick and his mum, which I know it's probably surprising that I've put the Nick and Imogen bench scene so high, but genuinely, it's one of the moments in the show that I truly had to like pause the show and think, because it was so fucking real and so important for people to hear, and for children to hear that and to know that they're not alone, and to know that these are common things that people feel and to try and finally accept themselves and find themselves again. I really love that scene, so that's why I've put that so high. But yeah, definitely, those are my top 3 moments of the show. Now, moving on, next up, what queer show or film that you've seen do you think is most similar to Heartstopper in style and tone? Honestly, none of them. Genuinely. I'm not just saying that, genuinely none of them. This is such a unique show, especially in style and tone. I've never seen a queer show this happy, because I feel like a lot of the time with queer shows, they focus on a lot of the negatives because it's a harsh fucking reality. The queer people struggle a lot in life for reasons that they shouldn't, just pure bigotry and society being fucking horrible. But to have a show that's this joyful and this hopeful and just such positive representation, but also realistic, is extremely rare. And that's why Heartstopper has been so successful, which I know is quite sad for other people, because I'm sure there are people out there who are like, oh, what shows are like Heartstopper that I can watch? But I can't give you any because it's so unique. That's why it's so good. Now, if you're asking for queer shows, I can recommend Young Royals. I really loved Young Royals when I watched it the first time. I haven't rewatched it, but I'm going to be doing that on my Discord as a watch party probably in a few months once Umbrella Academy's over. But I definitely enjoyed that at the time. Now, there is a new season of Love Victor coming out, which I can recommend. It's a decent show, but keep your expectations low, because Love Victor falls into the trap that I feel like a lot of queer shows do, which not just queer shows, a lot of shows in general, but we're talking about queer shows right now, is they fall into the unnecessary drama route, which is annoying because you look for good representation, you look for positive representation, but when something's over dramatized, it kind of takes you out of it and you can't see yourself anymore because it's so dramatic and it's so unrealistic. So there are elements of Love Victor that are realistic and there's elements of Love Victor that are really good, but it definitely has its drawbacks. I will be reacting to it, don't get me wrong, but nothing's on the level of Heartstopper. I'm telling you, it's really up to the game. These shows are going to have to try their fucking hardest to keep up with Heartstopper now. But yeah, and then in terms of films, I'm not a big film buff, so I can't really tell you. I have not seen them, but on my list to do reactions for are Moonlight and Call Me By Your Name, because I know that those are 2 very big queer movies, but I've not seen them myself, so I cannot comment. But yes, now moving on. Finally, our final question is, somewhat relatedly, what would you say are your all-time favorite queer film, shows, and show plot lines? What ones have really impacted you? Plot lines as well. Now, that is a tougher one. That is what, that's going to take some thought. Right, I've compiled a little list of my favorite coming out scenes and the ones that have touched me. So there will be spoilers in here, so get ready. First up, Stranger Things. When Robin came out to Steve, that was one of my favorite coming out scenes, simply because it was like so nonchalant, and especially when you think of the 80s, and the way that Steve took that was fucking admirable for someone of that generation. Like, that was so beautifully done. And one of my favorite parts is when he says, I can't remember the girl's name, but he's something like, but Tammy's a girl, and she's like, Steve. Bro, I love that so much. But yeah, from there, we have Alec in Shadowhunters, which was another one of those powerful scenes I really enjoyed. Right, you see, the thing is, with a lot of these coming out scenes, a lot of them are really good, but nothing has really compared to Heartstopper in a lot of this. And seeing Heartstopper and then looking back at all of this really does change my perspective. It really does. But yeah, anyway, Shadowhunters, that was another fantastic show. Really recommend it if you want to see it. Next up, we have Justin in Ugly Betty, which I'm sure a lot of you don't know about, but I used to watch Ugly Betty practically every day when I came home from school, and I always remember Justin telling Betty, I think it was some kind of dance, it might have been his bat mitzvah, I'm not sure, but it was some kind of dance that he was at, and there was just like a really, really nice conversation between the two, so I definitely recommend that as well. And then in terms of recent years, Sex Education had a really good scene between Eric and his dad, which was one of those things that kind of echoed a lot of things that go on in real life, where a lot of parents are scared for their children, and they don't want them to come out because they're scared that it will hurt them, but by not coming out and having those beliefs, you're hurting them even more. And that was kind of all of that scene, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how Eric stood up for himself and basically said to his dad, look, doing this is making it worse. I just want you to accept me and allow me to be happy. And they hugged, and it was really nice. Now, another scene next on the list, we have Derry Girls with Claire, which if you haven't seen Derry Girls, is one of my favorite shows. I only recently picked it up and I watched the entire show, which was sad because it's now over. But that scene that Claire had was so bloody beautiful because it was comedic, but also very real. How she was really trying to tell her friend, but I don't know. It's nice to have a comedy with a gay character where it's not like all of the jokes aren't just because she's gay, and it's not always a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? I appreciate comedies like that. But yes, moving on, we have Love Victor and Love Simon with their respective characters, and Victor's coming out to Felix was a really nice scene. And I remember getting a bit emotional with that because coming out to like a straight male friend is always one of the worst, just because you don't know how they're going to take it, and you get really scared that they're going to take it like bad. But Felix, being a fucking beautiful human being, took it very well. So I really enjoyed that scene. And then Love Simon, that was a bit more emotional. When he came out to his parents, that was fucking emotional, mate. And I remember crying when I first watched that. So definitely recommend that as well. Now, what else do I have on my list? I feel like I missed one. No, I didn't miss it. I left it because my favorite coming out scene that I've ever seen was Santana in Glee coming out to her grandmother. That was fucking impactful. That was a powerful scene because it was, I know I spoke about it earlier and I said that I don't like the negatives, but to have a negative reaction that's also a religious reaction from her grandmother and from such a powerful character like Santana. Like Santana was someone who took no shit. She was properly a badass. So to see her break down in that moment and be vulnerable and for it to just be like thrown back in her face and for her grandma to tell her no, it's like the opposite of Heartstopper, where you had an overly loving reaction, you had an overly hateful reaction, and you unfortunately see the reality of what a lot of people go through, where religion comes in the way of their family and kind of fucks them over a bit. So that was one of the sad coming out scenes, but definitely one of the best that I've ever seen on television. But yes, I believe that covers all of the questions. I believe that covers everything we were talking about. I kind of don't want to end, because when I end, it's over, but it is what it is. We have 2 seasons confirmed. We know that that's happening. And once again, if you want to rewatch the whole show with me, we're doing that on my Discord this Sunday. So hop over there. I am going to be doing Love Victor when that comes out. I will be doing a full post on my Patreon explaining all the updates, like the watch parties, my Discord, Twitch streaming, my new shows that are going to be coming to the channel. All of that's going to be over on my Patreon soon. So if you're interested, I'm going to make that a public post so you can see that. But yeah, that's it. This is Heartstopper. It's been fucking incredible and I'm excited for the next season. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you are interested in the full uncut reactions, they are all over on my Patreon. I've also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.